So this is Mary Bell Nyman from Psychic Rising Center. I want to welcome you all here and just relax. We're going to have a great time tonight. We're going to work this week and next week on healing survival and kind of rebooting yourself. And so take a deep breath. Let yourself get here. Relax in your chair. If you can, put your feet flat on the floor. And we're going to ground. That's how we always start every class. So find the very base of your spine. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And finding the very base of your spine, you can make a red X there. And then looking down and finding the very base, the very center of the earth. And let those 2 points be connected. So your body is anchored or tethered to the very center of the earth. Lots of times adults like to use a giant redwood tree, like you're sitting on the stump and the roots grow down to the center of the earth. Sometimes a beam of light. Kids are more playful. They like to use monkey tails that wrap around a big stick in the center of the earth. So whatever feels good to you, go for it. And when you ground, this anchors you. This allows your body to relax and let go of any energy you're holding on to that isn't yours. You don't even have to know what it is. It just automatically happens. And as you ground, you can expand that grounding cord or that monkey tail or redwood tree until it's as big around as your hips. And then take 3 deep breaths. Exhaling slowly. And this lets your body know that you're turning off the world, the cares and needs of the world, and you're going inward. And inside yourself is your sanctuary, where you as the spirit work with that body. And together, you as the spirit and the body are an unbeatable team. So the minute you ground, your spirit comes more in the body. And so it increases your awareness. And this is the #1 reason we ground, is to be more aware and to be more present. Lots of people have had the experience of driving home and it's like, oh, I don't even remember taking that turn. And you did. The body was on automatic. But when you drive and you're actually present behind your eyes, you're so much more aware. You can see what's coming, you're aware of the turns. And so being present with the body is a great way to live life. Then you have that ability to actually make better decisions because you have more information. It's the spirit part of you that has all the data. It's the body that runs on automatic. So when you combine them, you're an unbeatable team. So that's why we ground. And this first chakra we're going to talk about tonight, survival, taking care of survival, healing survival. This first chakra has to do with all of the data that's programmed in. So your body runs on automatic. You automatically breathe, you swallow, you blink. All these body functions are connected to the first chakra. And a chakra is just an energy center. And it's at the very base of the spine. It's the place you actually grounded from, where that red X was. So that first chakra records all the information you have about how to take care of a body. And the first thing I want you to do is we're going to do a little discovering. If you can, close your eyes and just imagine all that information is written on a CD, and just press eject. Let that CD with all that information on it come out. And just imagine if you were going to read what's on there, what would you find? And I'm going to walk you through a couple of things. I want you to just get curious. Like, what information do you have on there on how to take care of your body health-wise? Just ask yourself. What programming do you have around food? What kind of food are you supposed to eat? How much sleep are you supposed to get? What are your relationships supposed to be like? How much money are you supposed to have? You're just getting curious. You're looking at how you're programmed to be. And it's really funny because it's subtle, but society or how you're raised really does influence a lot of those choices. And they may not be the right choices for where your body is now. I was always programmed that chicken was better than beef. And later I found out I was allergic to chicken. I'm like, darn, I should have listened to myself. And so it's kind of funny where, because you have this idea, my dad was a doctor, so it's like, you know, chicken's better. And so you have this idea that, you know, you have to do it a certain way. And then I just had to laugh. I can do turkey, but I really can't do chicken. So when you listen to your own body, sometimes you have more of the answers than the experts. And so this is part of what we're going to work on, small part. So looking at some of those survival requests on your CD, see if they're in present time, in modern day. Like, your parents have one concept about how much money is enough. You might have a whole different level. Trust me, prices have increased since they were your age, however old you are. So be a little amused and look at bringing some of that into present time. What is it that you need now? And to me, it's not just money, but it's being able to really relax into life, having this, being able to just not go for the bare minimum, but really being able to live in a way that you can relax and not be constantly on edge or worried. And so if you don't have that in your old CD, we're going to rewrite it. So usually this first chakra just, it goes on routine maintenance. It just runs along every day. But when something changes, then it gets ka-chinged. So if you have a child, if you lose a job, if you have a a marriage that doesn't work, then this CD gets interrupted. And that's what you have to look at. And so that's when the body tends to go in survival. It goes in fear. And when it goes in fear, it closes down. And so we've all had these experiences where something happens and you can just feel your body panicking. Your heart beats faster and you're just tense, you're in fear. It's like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it's really hard to think when you're in survival. It's hard to create something new. So this is the energy we're going to work with this week and next week, stepping out of that survival and really finding a comfortable place to live so that you can really be in the rhythm of life and not just survive, but thrive. So take a deep breath and just say hello to that disc that you ejected. And let's just break it. You can put it in a bubble and pop it. You can snap it in half and energetically give it a toss. And we're just going to create a brand new one. So let's start. We're going to do a couple categories. Start with the health of the body. Maybe in your family, there's certain things that are hereditary. And does that mean you have to get them? No. It means you have more of a susceptibility or a sensitivity. But again, you can, if you work with your immune system, you might be able to walk right through that. An example, my family has autoimmune sensitivity, and only one of us 7 kids has anything autoimmune. So if you work with your DNA and you work with your immune system, many times you can bypass that or have a slight sensitivity, but not be affected. That doesn't mean that won't happen later, but we're all doing pretty good. So look at the health of the body and what you have in your family that tends to come up when you look at health issues. And just decide how you'd like to be present with that challenge. You could ground the word. 2 of my cousins have autoimmune deficiencies. They have rheumatoid arthritis. So if you had something like that, you could just take that word, that concept of rheumatoid arthritis or cancer or heart disease, whatever runs in your family, and just ground it. Just put a little energy connecting cord, just like we did the base of our spine, down to the center of the earth. And just drain all the energy out of that word or that concept. And breathe. And then ask your body, not your mind, ask your body, what color could you put in that concept that would make it be the least affecting of you? What would help you help yourself stay healthier? And whatever color the body says, put in there. So you can literally fill those words or those letters with that vibration. And take a deep breath. And then look at your concept of money and do the same thing. How would you like your money to flow to you? Do you need to work hard for your money? Is there room in there for any gifts financially to come to you, even if you're not aware of them? I have a great friend who worked as an auto body parts store manager, and his sister-in-law gave them the deed to their house in West Virginia and enough money to retire on. So going from absolutely no retirement to having a house and being flush just happened to him overnight. It was a thing he least expected. So life happens. Give yourself the benefit of a doubt. Just leave a little room in there that money can come to you from places you may not know. What the heck? Put in there that your income can exceed your bills so that you're not always having to count every penny. Can't hurt, might as well throw it in there. Look at your connection or your communication with your body. Can you be a cheerleader for this body? So when it accomplishes something, I saw on Facebook, somebody said, hey, I've been a year without smoking today. I was like, woohoo, that's huge. You have to champion yourself and be your own best cheerleader. So make a little space in that first chakra awareness for being able to encourage yourself, to be your own cheerleader. And it's great if somebody, cheers you on from the outside, but the best thing is if you can do it from the inside, because you know how hard you worked. So looking at these things, what would you like in your family life, whether it's your family of origin or a family that you raised? How would you like that energy to flow? Maybe there's been tension before. Just kind of think of how you'd like those relationships to be. And giving it to yourself. How would you like your connection with Source to be, however you see that energy? Is that relationship one where you feel comfortable? What is your concept of Source? Is it somebody who's with a book making check marks if you do right or wrong? I just got to help a young man, he was 52, die this last week. Died of cancer, and he had off and on been a drug addict and was very worried about being judged when he went home. And it was great to be able to put him at ease. He may work through some things, but really, it's not about what you did right or wrong. It's what you learned from it. So many times in our society, we get hung up on, oh, I lost my temper, or oh, I did something I should have paid more attention, whatever it is. And it's, what did you learn from it? Much more than holding yourself accountable for a mistake for years. That is such a waste of time. So it's like, oh, really get clear, learn. I got it. Okay, you're not going to be likely to make that same mistake again. And if you do, again, there's a level of learning. So this man got to die in a level more of peace than of constant worry about being judged and pinned down. It's like, you know, am I going to be really in trouble? And I really don't think he will. When I look at him on the other side, he looks great. He's very vibrant. And it's so nice that he had a very peaceful death. I think that's one of the greatest things we can help each other do is die in peace. So as you write this new information, really look in, also put in there permission for change, because our world is changing so fast. Some of the changes we don't like. Some of them we're not sure how we want to respond. We just know we have to respond. So put in that first chakra, room to change and grow, because I guarantee you 10 years from now, you're not going to be in the same place you are tonight either. So really cleaning that off and allowing yourself that space. Most people have this picture that once you reach enlightenment, you stop growing. And I just don't see that at all. I think you keep growing until you're on the other side. And even then, there's opportunities to keep growing. And as you go through life, that fourth chakra, right in your heart center, is the key. It's like a magnet. It draws to you the energy you need to fulfill all that survival information in the first chakra. So they work together, first and fourth. So let's try putting that disc back in the first chakra. Just know it's there. We're going to make it easy. Pop it back in. And then with your eyes closed, say hello to that fourth chakra. This is your heart. And in it are all the seeds of everything you came to do this lifetime. It's full of things. So all the projects, all the jobs you've had, all the people you've met, a lot of those were things you intended as a spirit to do this lifetime. So just say hello to all those seeds that still haven't popped yet and give them room. As you start to go through life, you have this new data to run off of. Start to make good friends with yourself. Like, take any situation that you're in, and instead of judging it, allowing there to be space so that you're really loving yourself. Be friends with your body and friends with whatever situation you're in. And hey, some of the situations we find ourselves in are not fun. So it's like, oh, well, this is interesting. I hadn't thought of this one. I hadn't put this together. I can remember slipping on black ice one time and laying, you know, flat on my back, looking up at the sky and going, huh, hadn't planned on this one. What can you do? There you are. So you check to see if anything's broken. You crawl off and you start over. So sometimes if you can just get a tiny bit of amusement, it can give you a little bit different perspective. And the reason for that is when you're really serious, you lock in, you drop the vibration that you're sitting in and you drop things in, they get locked or frozen. Where if you're in a little amusement, it allows things to flow. And so, you know, yes, there's so many things that are not amusing. I hear you, I do. And yet, if you can just be present with the body and say, okay, even this too shall pass. We'll make it through. It's like, let's take a deep breath, go with it. Then it's easier for you to move through things. You know, keeping that perspective 5 years from now, it will be a little funnier. So you'll have that perspective. So when you get in survival or something challenges you, you get popped out of the body. And the sooner you can get back in, the sooner you feel like you're flowing more with your life. I don't want to say you're in control because I think we overuse that. But you get back in the flow, and you have more awareness. So getting curious about your life instead of judging it allows that to happen a little bit quicker. If you can look at a situation from the past, let's do this. Take a deep breath, close your eyes again, and just like a little movie screen in front of you, think of an incident from the past that was survival based for you. You got fired, you had a baby, you got married, and it's a big growth experience. So sometimes it challenges us to have to learn from a different experience. You move states, countries, and just get curious. How did you do it? How did you make friends with that difference? Just look backward in time and see what you did to make it all come together. And notice how it's responded to you in relationship to what you call in. Was it beyond your expectations? Were you the effect of someone else's energy? And just notice how that affected you. How did you grow from that experience? Notice if it's something you really learned a lot from. Sometimes our hardest things teach us the most. And notice when you're in that kind of growth experience, whose permission do you need in order to create, to maybe change the flow of what's happening? Sometimes we'll get in an interesting situation where maybe with money, and we'll say, well, why can't I manifest money? What is it? And, maybe 3 lifetimes ago, you decided you were going to be a monk and you were going to give it all away and take that vow of poverty or not be attached to the earthly needs. And so you make this vow, and it's like, okay, I'm not going to be obsessed with money. I'm going to let it go. And, in that lifetime, that was the right thing to do for you. And here you are 4 lifetimes later, and it's like, I'm not sure I want to stay in that same situation. I'm not living in Tibet anymore. I'm not living that kind of life. And so you may want to release any old pictures or concepts that maybe have held you back, that you made yourself. They're yours. That's why they stay. So let's do a little cleanup work just in case. And what you're going to do is create a huge bubble out in front of you, about the size of a soccer ball. Put a little magnet in it. And just imagine letting any past life information, anything that, anytime you were in survival, living in poverty, you were a monk, took a vow of poverty, whatever it was, just allow it to go in there. You don't even have to know. Just let that soccer ball bubble gather up that data. And validate yourself. Hey, it worked at the time. It's just not where you want to be right now. And can you be mildly amused that you set it up this way, and maybe that's why it's harder for you to attract money or love? And again, if you can be a little amused, you can let it go. Pop it. You always have to own your stuff before you can change it. Same with love. You can say, oh, you have one lifetime where it didn't work for you. It's like, oh, all bets are off. I'm not ever doing that. And hey, that's how you felt in that moment or that life. But it doesn't mean that's where you need it to stay all the time. So again, it's forgiving yourself, finding a little amusement, and moving on. So let's do a soccer ball size bubble again. Put a magnet in there. And let's do this for relationships, lovers, partners, mates. For any time it didn't work and that energy's still around you. Can be a lot of energy to hold on to. So just giving yourself some new space, put it all in there and pop it. You know how easy a soap bubble is to pop. And just let it go. Give yourself permission to have change and to grow from it. And breathe. And just decide that this week, you're going to really be your own best friend. You're going to treat yourself as nice as you would your spouse or your best friend that you hang with, someone you really love, your child, that you're going to be that gentle with yourself. And give yourself that space to just be kind to you, no matter what's happening. Even if you mess up, it's like, oh, I have the get out of jail free card this week. And so using that kindness as a way to connect with you. And then put a huge gold sun above your head, twice as big as your body. And this just is brand new life force energy, because when we get rid of things, we always like to replenish them. And in that gold sun, again, you can close your eyes for a minute and think of 3 things you'd like to bring to you this week. It might be some laughter. It could be sharing a meal with someone. It could be talking to an old friend. So many things to choose from. And whatever it is that you need, put it up there in that bubble, up in that gold sun, and pop it, and let it flow in and fill first your head, your brain, just filling your eyes, letting it come down and fill your torso, all the organs in the body, flowing down the back, just like you're under the shower, down each of your arms and out your fingertips. Down through your intestines, your digestive tract, all the body organs and parts. Then through all the muscles and bones, down the legs, into the feet. And then finally out into that aura around you, that energy field. Just nurturing you. Validating whatever you've learned so far this lifetime. It's been an amazing lifetime. We have moved so much this lifetime. So really validate yourself. Look at where you started, say at 10, and then 20, and then where you are now. Look at the growth. And then one way I find that really helps me enjoy living life is being in that place of sending like a little blessing or a little bit of a healing to someone. And it's really interesting to sit and just bless the world. Just thinking of all the people that are suffering, all the people that are dying, all the people that are really trying and they're just having a hard time. And just sending them a little gold hello. Think of it kind of like as pixie dust, just gold sparkles. And it's really interesting to see who you bless. And it's really interesting to see who you don't bless. See if there's a level of worthiness. Somebody has to be worthy in order to get a little blessing. Or can you just bless everyone? I find it really fun to bless everyone. Just doesn't matter, male, female, doesn't matter what gender, what ethnic group, what political party, it just doesn't matter. It's just sending that vibration out all across the world. And not only on Earth, but to those spirits on the other side, to all the ancestors that have died, to all the spirits that are working in spirit form, sending them a hello. So this week, this is going to be your homework, is to sit and send out little blessings, being grateful for what you do have, and just giving yourself permission to start to enjoy it more and more, to really love this life, and recognizing how much we have and how much more we can open to receive. So as you bless others, you tend to allow that to come back and bless yourself as well. So here's your chance to practice just having fun with this life, where you wake up and you're really excited about being alive and living this life. And this is how you start to really increase your ability to have more. You give it out and it comes back to you. Give it out and it comes back to you. And I think the more you can genuinely be present for yourself and everyone around you, the happier you become. So being of service, finding those little ways that you can give to each other, whether it's holding a door for someone, smiling at someone. I have a stepmother who's been in a nursing home for, I guess, about 8 months, and nobody can go visit her because of COVID, but I like to send greeting cards, and I can put on a male or female to some of the nursing homes in town, because I can't go to her, but I'm sure there's plenty of residents that can't be seen here with the COVID. So it's kind of nice to be able to help somebody, even if you don't know them. I think the holidays are going to be like that, where we're not going to be able to travel, but maybe we can help someone who's in a family we don't know. So here's some great opportunities to look at releasing survival energy and finding a way of living in the positive flow. And it's a lot more fun. You get a lot more out of life, and anybody can choose it. So take a deep breath. Enjoy yourself this week. Send out little blessings. And next week we'll pick up and do week 2. We'll finish other ways of dealing with survival and having a life that you really live. All right, thanks for being here.